I want to become a school counselor because I want to be there to pick someone up when they are down. Even though there are struggles at everyday home life, there are also struggles of developing in school. Many students have trouble with taking standardized exams, and I want to be the engine that drives their train. I want to make a difference and show students that it's not about the score on the exam or the grade that they get in the class. It is about their own perception on how they did. I want to see all my students excel in school and to not drop out. I want to find the reasons and the issues that are going on in their lives and enrich them with the knowledge and research to make them feel better about themselves. I want them to understand that if they change their perception of something, it would be a totally different ball game, and it would be a much more different perspective on the issue at hand. I believe being an effective school counselor is to listen to all of your students. It also means feeling empathy for your students and being there for them when they are in distress. Being an effective school counselor means you're building a relationship with your students. They are going to open up to you and explain the issues and obstacles that are happening in their lives. Perhaps they just want to engage in a conversation. School counselors need to effectively advocate the help that these students need. They need to be able to advocate programs and after-school activities that are available for these students. I trust that Howard Earl Gardner's multiple intelligence theory will shape my instruction during school counseling because he believes that we should place equal attention on individuals who show gifts in the other intelligences. These intelligences being the artists, architects, musicians, naturalists, designers, dancers, therapists, and entrepreneurs, and others who enrich the world in which we live. Unfortunately, many children who have these gifts don't receive much reinforcement for them in school. Many of these kids, in fact, end up being labeled learning disabled, ADD, or simply underachievers. When their unique ways of thinking and learning aren't addressed by a heavy linguistic or logical mathematic classroom, I believe that showing students that there are multiple intelligences will help them with their day-to-day lives. Students may feel discouraged because they are not picking up on a lesson, but they may not fully understand that the teacher may not be teaching in he or she's particular style of learning. One of the most remarkable features of the theory of multiple intelligences is how it provides 8 different potential pathways to learning. A philosophy in particular that I believe is very important is social reconstructivism. The type of curriculum focuses on student experience and taking social action on real problems. I plan to use this type of instruction when I am referring to treatment to students. I want to bring up the trauma and talk about the current topics that are about the trauma. I then want them to attempt to devise solutions that are based on the treatment plan that we talked about. Essentialism is also something that I strongly agree with. Students need to be educated about the traditional values of everyday curriculums such as math, natural science, history, foreign language, and literature. With these core values, we as educators could then take these essential learning topics and teach students in various types of ways. We can make the lessons hands-on or kinesthetically, or we can make them verbally or auditory. We could then use these different learning styles to reach the brains of each of the students and enrich them with the education that they will need. My counseling office will be presented as if it were a resource center. I want my students to be able to find resources in my office that will better help them. There will be different agency brochures, business cards, and different philosophies and research books in the office. I want to make sure that I have all the resources in my office to be able to help the student. My room will also have many quotes and famous lines from inspirational stories and different theorists. The lighting will be less bright and more relaxed. I will use table lamps rather than the incandescent bulbs that run across the ceiling. The office will have comfortable furniture for my students to feel relaxed and at ease. It will reflect who I am and what I believe, but not only allowing my students to really engage in a conversation, but to also allow my students to feel a relationship with myself. I started with this line, and I will end it with this line. To be an effective school counselor, you need to be there to pick someone up when they are down.